group of energy executives are set to meet with President Trump today to discuss the big drop in the price of crude, what can be done about it. Eamon Javers joins us now with more. Good morning, Eamon.
Yeah, good morning, Joe. We expect that meeting at the White House at 3 p.m. this afternoon, East Coast time, so watch for that. Meanwhile, as Andrew was just saying, the president told you, Joe, directly first that he had secured some kind of a commitment here from Russia and Saudi Arabia, and that there was an agreement to lower the production of oil, which had an immediate impact in oil markets. The president said that again last night, suggesting that there were specific figures thrown out by the two countries in terms of their commitment here. Here's what he said in the briefing room yesterday.
Russia talked about 10 million barrels. Russia and Saudi Arabia are fighting over this, and as everybody knows, it's really killing an industry, hurting Russia badly, hurting Saudi Arabia badly. It may be 10, and it may be more than that. I was actually told it may be 10. As I told somebody before, it may be 10, and it may be more than that. Maybe it's 15.
But the Russians in particular disputed that there had been any agreement between them and Saudi Arabia, and sort of downplayed the idea that there was anything happening here very much at all. Now, we do know that those oil executives are going to be going to the White House this afternoon, and we have a sense here from talking to some industry players about what's going to be on the agenda. Take a look at what they've told me so far about what the expectation is. One of the concerns among some of the big players in the industry is this idea that the president might impose tariffs on Saudi oil. A lot of the big players, including API, are arguing that tariffs are a bad thing and we need to protect the global supply coming into the United States. They're also going to talk about royalty and leasing relief for drilling on federal lands. We expect some conversations about storing excess oil reserves in the SPR, the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. The Department of Energy is already examining that, and the idea of Jones Act waivers could come up in this conversation as well. That's the rule that requires you, if you're shipping within U.S. ports, to have American ships and American crews. That drives up some of the expenses there. The industry has long angled to get waivers on the Jones Act, so we can expect them to make that push again today as well. But the big question here is whether or not they can come to any agreement. Harold Hamm is going to be one of the players in the room, and an interesting one, because while some of the big producers are going to be arguing against tariffs, it's expected that Harold Hamm, who's a billionaire and a close personal friend of the president's, will be arguing for those tariffs and arguing that the American shale and fracking industry really needs that kind of price support. And the big guys suggest that Hamm is one of those producers who can't really make money at this low price and needs those tariffs in order to get the price up to where he thinks it ought to be. And also, there's some sense here that he's in ideological agreement with the president on the idea of tariffs in general. So a fascinating meeting set to take place at the White House this afternoon at 3 p.m., guys.